Amor, que leche, fotum via amor, que leche, fotum amor, que leche, fotum via amor, que leche, fotum amor, que leche, fotum via amor, que leche, fotum amor, que leche, fotum via amor, que leche, fotum amor, que leche, fotum
And I'm the executive director of CalPEP. CalPEP was founded in 1983, and at that time the mission was for us to prevent HIV and AIDS in the prostitute community. Since 1983, we have evolved and changed into something totally different. We see a large group of people that do not identify as being prostitutes, but there are people on the streets, homeless people, people that do drugs, high-risk people. In Oakland, the majority of the population that we see that are on the streets are African-American people. You know, this is totally different than the early days where it was majority gay white men. We went to South Africa, Durban, South Africa, and the conference was called Breaking the Silence About HIV and AIDS. And so there's a lot of silence still to be broken.
I wanted to introduce to you Desiree Rushing. Desiree, I don't want to say a whole lot about Desiree because I know she's going to tell her own story, but I just want to thank her for coming this morning.
I want to start off talking about what happened with me when I was younger, then get to the middle age and get to the old age that I am now, right? I'm just going to tell y'all the truth, the whole truth. When we were real young, my dad started drinking. What I started doing, you guys, was not wanting to be at home a whole lot during that time and just wanting to hang out. I got in high school and I started experimenting with drugs. Found out I was pregnant. Had my son, was with his father, didn't want him no more. Then I met my husband and we got married. He into the cocaine thing too. We all getting high. One particular night, January 24th, 1986, I was with my husband. And you guys, I've been using for so long. To me, it seemed like it was so long. 79, 81, 2, 3, 7 years. And I looked at him and I said, this is it. We're not going to be together no more. This is it. I need to get myself together. I'm going to get myself straight. And that was 1986. And I have not used anything since 1986. So here I am. I'm not using no more. I'm in school for respiratory therapy. I'm not in an abusive relationship, but then I meet a guy. At this school, when he calls me, it's just like it's a ministry of mine to just go. These are kids who aren't in the regular like public school system, or they're in alternative school for one reason or another, maybe because they, you know, just can't get themselves together or don't understand why they should. And I go to let them know that I care enough about them to come and just expose myself so they won't have to be in the situation I'm in. He hit me in my eye, pulled me to the back of the house. His sisters was there, his mama was there, his brother was there, nieces, nephews was there, and nobody called the police. And during that night, he started having sex with me, saying he killed me, he got me. He was actually on purpose giving me the virus, and that was in 1986. So from 1986 till the point of me either being in the clinic in 90 or 91, I didn't know that I was diagnosed. I feel like if I wouldn't have been in a situation where he would have been in my circle, even though I didn't ask to be raped, I wouldn't have known him to begin with. At the point I found out about being diagnosed, I felt like, okay, either I can give up now or I can go on with my life and make the best of my life. And at that point, I decided to go on with my life and not give up. I came to Faith Realty about 3 or 4 years ago. I decided I wanted to do real estate. I went back to school and I got my real estate license. And my pastor was a real estate agent at one time. So what he decided to do was open up an office here at the church. The slip came, and I said, oh, this is in Hawaii, 26 miles. Basically, the marathon is where you raise money for people diagnosed. I did it for two reasons. I done it because I wanted to show other people diagnosed that they could do things that they want to do, and I did it because it was in Hawaii. I do a whole lot. My life is really, really full. I would have gave up on life when I first got diagnosed. I wouldn't be here for my son. I wouldn't have the church family I have here, my career now in real estate, and I wouldn't have got that experience. I wouldn't have gotten to, you know, take my trips like the one to Hawaii and run, just certain things I wouldn't have been able to do if I would have gave up back then. And now here I am, 45 years old, 17, 18 years later. So I feel like it was the way I processed it too. I felt like I got a second chance. When I stopped using drugs, I stopped using right there in '86, the same year that God gave me the virus. And God blessed me to have enough sense to say, I quit. If I would have continued on using, not knowing that I was diagnosed, I probably wouldn't be here now. So I'm just grateful, I guess. I'm just so grateful for the fact that I can wake up and say, oh, I'm alive. Quitting's not an option. It's just, you just do what you need to do.
The biggest risk for women, African American women, and HIV is African American men. And I think for our population, it's African American men who are in and out of the jail systems, in and out of prison. The other biggest risk is men who have multiple sex partners who don't tell their wives or intimate partner that they're having multiple sex partners. So those lies can actually kill you now. So the biggest risk is not knowing who your partner is, not protecting yourself when you should protect yourself. Lots of our clients are married, and they think because they're married and have been married for a while that they have no reason to use condoms. And you know where your husband is now? Do you know where he was last night? Do you know where he was last week, when he went out of town? You know, lots of times men who go in and out of prison will be on the down low. Men on the down low are what for years some of us have called bisexual. These men do not identify as being gay or bisexual. They only go out and have sex with men for sex. It's not a relationship, it's not anything else, it's just sex. You know, we're not trying to stop people from living, we're trying to save people's lives. And how you save people's life is first they have to be clear of what their risks are and what they're doing that put them at risk.
I'm Gwen Patton, and I'm HIV positive. I was 25 and I met a 50-year-old man. And he told me about shooting, and I never knew how to inject myself. He would have to do it, or I would have to pay somebody. You know, if I was getting beat up, black eyes and stuff like that from not doing what he say do, you know. And I left home. And when I went to prison, I took the test and I came out positive, which I already knew. You know, that's how you know, get it. That's why I raised my hand when they asked us if anybody here ever did these activities. And I said, I did. I want to take the test, not knowing that they was going to treat me like that. Like I had the Black Plague. I was diagnosed in 1987. So I joined 11 more women with some of them had full-blown AIDS, which is the difference than what I had. You know, it was like God sent me there. I started writing out to the foundations, the closest AIDS foundation was Riverside. I took it upon myself to get literature in there, which the AIDS Foundation, they did give us literature, and I read upon it. I called home. I told my family about it. I wanted them to know I had it. I just looked at this whole situation like this, spiritually, which I was always as a kid. I gave it to God. A lot of people said when they was told that they first had the virus, they wanted to die. They wanted to kill themselves, you know. But I didn't have that thought. You know, I wanted to know, what is this? I know what constitutes it. I know what makes you live longer. I know what makes you die faster. I know the different cells. I've been to the lab. I've seen the virus in the microscopes. You know, I've allowed myself to get that in depth with the virus. Today, to continue to use or start back use